When you think of Mary Shelley, the author of Frankenstein, or the super radical poet Percy Bysshe Shelley, you're probably picturing these stormy English manners, right? Ancient European landscapes. But what if I told you that a huge part of their story, their fortune, and even their radical ideas was secretly American? So what is the real connection between these icons of British Romanticism and the founding of the United States? Well, as we're about to see, the answer is a lot closer and way more personal than you could ever imagine. Now, you might be thinking it's all about a shared philosophy of liberty, or maybe some revolutionary pamphlets getting passed back and forth across the Atlantic. And yeah, that's definitely part of the story, but the real connection, it goes much, much deeper than that. Yep, the link isn't just about ideas. It's biological. It's literally woven into the DNA of this famous literary family. And here it is, the bombshell. The patriarch of this quintessentially British, super aristocratic family, Sir Bysshe Shelley, wasn't born in England at all. He was born an American colonist in Newark, New Jersey. And, this one single fact changes absolutely everything. So let's start with the guy who built the family fortune, Sir Bysshe Shelley. I mean, how on earth does an American colonist become the foundation for a British literary powerhouse? Let's get into it. Everything about Sir Bysshe Shelley's start, it's all American. His dad was a merchant in Newark, and the family's entire wealth was built on land they inherited in the colonies. And even after he moves to England and builds this huge empire, he never forgot where he came from. In fact, he planted 2 massive American sequoia trees on his English estate, a very literal piece of the New World thriving in the Old. I mean, that's not just gardening, right? That's a statement. Okay, so Sir Bysshe sets up the money side of things, but this American connection also totally fueled the family's ideology. Let's take a look at how that revolutionary spirit jumped across the ocean and really fired up the imaginations of the next generation. So check this out. It's this incredible back and forth of radical ideas. It wasn't a one-way street at all. You have ideas from London radicals inspiring Thomas Paine, who then goes to America. His revolutionary success there then circles back and re-inspires thinkers in England, like Mary Shelley's own dad, William Godwin. And the final link in this chain? A young Percy Shelley watching all this happen and feeling like he has to imitate Paine's revolutionary style. And Percy's fascination with America started super early. As a boy, he was just obsessed with one of its greatest minds, Benjamin Franklin. He actually tried to replicate Franklin's famous kite experiment, totally captivated by this idea of grabbing raw, untamed power from the heavens. It's really the perfect metaphor for the revolutionary spirit that America represented. His admiration wasn't just for American scientists, but for its leaders, too. There's this great story where he's on a ship, and an American sailor insists they all toast to George Washington. Well, to the sailor's absolute shock, the British poet Percy Shelley stands up and delivers this incredible tribute, praising Washington as this uniquely righteous leader who only ever used his power for the good of the people. But these connections go way beyond just admiring people from afar. Let's get into the most direct, most personal link between the Shelley's world and the absolute heart of American political power. Get ready for this, because this is where the story just gets absolutely wild. The person who directly ties the Shelleys to the whole American project is none other than Aaron Burr, the sitting vice president. And look, this was a really deep friendship. We're not talking about a casual acquaintance here. Aaron Burr dined with Mary Shelley's family 90 times. 90! He would bring the young girls gifts from America, and he admired their radical parents so much that he hung portraits of them in his vice president's office. Just think about that for a second. A top American official idolizing England's most notorious radical thinkers. It's just incredible. And this wasn't some kind of secret. Burr's connection to the Godwins was so well known that his political enemies used it as an attack line against him. They accused him of perfect rank Godwinism. His admiration for Mary Shelley's father was literally used as a political weapon against him in America. Now, after Percy's tragic death, you'd probably think, okay, that's the end of the American connection, right? Nope, not even close. In fact, for a little while, it centered directly on Mary Shelley herself, giving her a choice that could have changed literary history forever. So, as a young widow, Mary gets this unbelievable invitation to come to America to join a utopian community in Tennessee. And this wasn't just any community. It was an anti-slavery commune founded on the radical ideals of her own father. It was a chance for her to actually live out the philosophies she was raised on. But in the end, she made the really tough decision to go back to England. And we have to talk about this place, Nashoba, because it's amazing. It was a real-world attempt to build a society based on her father's principles, right on the American frontier. And in this really fitting tribute, this is where the very first American edition of Percy Shelley's most revolutionary poem, Queen Mab, was published. It was all about keeping his radical legacy alive in the New World. So even though she never actually moved there, you can see that America just lived in her head, right in her imagination. Her novel Lawdor is completely soaked in her American connections. It memorializes her friend Aaron Burr and has a plot where a father raises his daughter in America based on her parents' radical principles before he dies in a duel near New York. Sound familiar? It's a clear echo of Burr's own infamous story. So what you have is this constant flow of family, rebellion, and fortune back and forth across the Atlantic. And it created this legacy that didn't just stop with the Shelleys. It kept rippling forward, and eventually it influenced one of the biggest names in American literature. And that line of influence, believe it or not, leads us straight to F. Scott Fitzgerald. Like the Shelleys, he was totally fascinated by the promise and the danger of this new world. And in a crazy echo of this whole story, it was his own grandfather's business that paid for his education at Princeton, the very same university as the Shelleys' old family friend, Aaron Burr.
Which really leaves us with one last big question to chew on. The Shelleys, they dreamed of a world remade by radical ideas, by individual potential, and by breaking free from the old aristocracy. So, a century later, was the great American novel, a literary form obsessed with self-invention, ambition, and the ghosts of the past, the ultimate and maybe most unexpected fulfillment of their dream? It's pretty wild to think about.